Hi, this is Steve from yourcreativelife.com talking today about collaboration agreements. Now, I recently put a video on this YouTube channel about contracts and whether or not writers need contracts, which I believe we do, they do, you and I do. So take a look at that video to find out all about the ins and outs of that. But today I wanted to talk about collaboration agreements. And you might be saying to yourself, what are those things? Collaboration agreements are essentially contracts between writers, co creators of some event, thing, script, project. And I believe it's important to have them in every single case. And I'll talk about why. Here's the thing, there are so many of us out there. And, if you're writing on a regular basis, which I know that you are, and you're in a writing group, which you may be, or perhaps you have been in the past, or you've been in drama school or graduate school or anywhere, film school, whatever it is, and you may have friends, family, even who you're working on a projects with. You say to your spouse, or you say to your best friend, or your cousin, or your brother, let's work on a screenplay. Let's work on this project. Let's work on a pilot, whatever it is. Let's work on a book. On the one hand, you might say to yourself, you know what? I trust this person. I know this person. I love this person. And at the same time, the challenge is that let's say you start working on a project with a really good friend, and a minute, a week, a day, a month later, somebody knocks on your door, and it's, let's say, a huge producer. It's NBC Universal, it's Netflix, it's Paramount, I don't know who. Somebody comes to your door and says, oh, I heard you're working on this project. I'm really interested in it. I know you haven't finished. I know you haven't written very much of it, but I want to pay you $1 million for this project. The question then becomes, who gets the $1 million? Do you get it because you answered the door? Do you split it with your friend? Do you get 70% and your friend gets 30%? What happens when money becomes involved all depends on, or largely on, the agreement that you've made with that collaborator up front. So it doesn't make any sense if there's a project that you want to do, that you want to send out into the world, that you want to produce as a show, as a musical, as a short film, as a web series, whatever it is. It doesn't make any sense for you to create something and lean into all of the hard work of giving birth to a project without first establishing who the ownership goes to. There are instances where, for example, and many times, somebody will be working on a project and they'll just come to you or to me, say, for example, to consult. They'll be like, you know what, I'm having some problems with this particular scene, or I really want to sharpen this and I could really use your help, either as a coach or as a friend or whatever. And I can volunteer or be paid to give my services to that person to shape or strengthen a particular part of their piece. But it doesn't mean I own it, right? And what's really important is to recognize that there is only the owners of any particular project need to be specified so that there are never any confusions down the line. So it's one thing if you get somebody to comment on a scene. It's another thing if you're both giving birth to the project together. And are you giving birth to it 50-50? Are you giving birth to it 70-40? Are you like, what is happening here? And that's what these contracts, these collaboration agreements are really about. The opportunity to specify in an adult, mature, I'm a professional writer way what the circumstances are of the birth of this project. And that is something that I think we all need to do. So here's the thing. There are so many people out there who get all codependent about this and say, oh, I can't tell my friend that I want an agreement. I can't pull out a contract. I can't do this or that because they're going to get upset. But if that knock on the door comes and $1 million is in the offing and you start fighting about it, it's much better to decide prior to that where all the rights and responsibilities lie of this particular project. And that's something that we should all do. So this can be really simple. You can do a simple deal memo that says, here's the name of the project. The project, we are both co-creators of it, or I created it and you're helping me do, however it is. It's really not super complicated. If you happen to have an attorney like I do, I will send that information to my attorney and say, can you please work up a collaboration agreement for this? It's really worth it. If you don't have an attorney, you can certainly go to or look for volunteer lawyers for the arts or find a template online. But to have something on paper, even an email works legally, to simply say, here's the ownership. We both own it together, or I own it and you're consulting, or I've written the book and you've written the lyrics, or whatever it is, so that when that $1 million knock at the door comes, you know completely what it is you're going to do. I highly recommend this. And it's really not complicated. And I think anybody out there who gets offended by this sort of suggestion of an agreement, of a contract, I think they're not really playing in the professional world. And that's something that you really ought to be aware of. So thanks for watching. Take a look at yourcreativelife.com to find out other ways that I can help you in your writing career become more professional, gear up your mojo, and show up deeply and powerfully in the professional world. On my website, you can find out all about the soup to nuts of working with me. You can find a link to this YouTube channel, information about the Secret Writer podcast, and sign up for the new monthly newsletter that comes out, as it says, once a month. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. New videos every single month, and I will see you next time.